Welcome to First and Gold, presented by Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy, breaking down. I guess there's a football game later. Haven't heard too much about it, but to discuss it, BradThomas, Matt Mcafee, we are finally here. What's going on, boys?
Chilling. Listen, I gotta ask, McAfee,
Yo,
is Clevenger your favorite pitcher?
I loved him when he was on the Tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Clevenger guy.
I think we might have to edit this out, Brad. I don't know if you've seen the recent. Are you up to date with the news cycle?
No. What?
What did Clevenger do?
Moving on to the Super Bowl.
Oh no.
I have to look this up now.
I'll have to Google it. Oh no.
Yeah.
As you can clearly tell, I'm not a baseball guy.
Throwing a Clevenger curveball out of the game.
A little DV. Okay.
More than a little,
no.
it seems. More than a little. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I used to like him. I don't know. It's you don't like that, but yeah, off to a rough start here, right?
Yeah. at least we get to spend the next hour or so talking about football instead of things that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? I guess we'll just start here and we'll go through the game. We'll go through everything here. I guess we'll just start best prop, favorite prop that's available right now. Life on the line. You can only bet one thing today. Brad, what are you betting? What's your favorite bet that still exists?
Jalen Hurts over 31.5 passing attempts. And surprisingly, it's not super juiced. It's to minus 125, which is crazy for a prop still. But listen, Jalen Hurts, his average on the season was 30.5, and that's factoring in all the blowouts that they had, games where, at the end of the season when he was still banged up. It's going to be a closer game. And I actually think him being a little hurt actually helps us because he's not going to have as many shots downfield. They're going to have to, rely on passes that are a little bit easier on his shoulder. I actually had his number ending at about 35. So it gives us a few extra passes of leeway there.
Matt, life on the line. Where are you going?
Life on the line, one prop. Gosh, that's a loaded question. I guess I can't take an under there because that would be a horrible sweat.
Oh my God.
You're not under it until the end of the game. So I would take, I guess, something pretty low. Gosh, I mean, I'm trying to think of something here. I'll say, gosh, this is tough, man. You put me on the spot, and I didn't have my gold standard one ready, but I think what I'll say is give me Patrick Mahomes pass completions over 25.5.
Yeah, I was torn between Mahomes over passing yards, which I know is super square, and I sort of like the square. Just because they're square doesn't mean they're not going to win. Look,
Exactly.
You're talking to me, the Mahomes over passing yards, 295.5 now. Kelsey over receptions. Again, this is the most important day. Pickett Sports, use everything. Shop around because there's so many opportunities to middle. There's so many markets out there where you can find a better number. You can scalp. You can play both sides and just guarantee yourself money. So have multiple books, shop around, Pickett Sports, and of course, Boom Fantasy are great sponsors, but today's a huge day for that. I think Kelsey's going to have his moments. I think he'll get his 7-8 catches, 85 plus yards, and I think Mahomes goes over passing yards. So that's probably the one I'd go to if I'm looking for a niche one. And I guess we'll just go around the horn here. Second best prop. Boston Scott under 5.5 now, under longest carry. I just think it's going to be Gainwell. It's going to be Sanders. There's only one ball to go around. Gainwell's played well. That. Sanders is the lead guy. I just don't think. I think he's more of a short yardage guy. So Boston Scott under 5.5 for the longest carry is a good way to fade him, I think.
I like that a lot because especially if Boston Scott's getting the ball, it's going to be in like 3-yard situations, like red zone, touchdown kind of scoring situations. This is crazy. Like, I'm so confused. I haven't bet this prop yet, but since we're talking props, rushing attempts for Jerick McKinnon, I kind of wanted under 4.5. Like, they're getting Elaire back. How much is he going to play? McKinnon's a little banged up. I just didn't. And then, like, a lot of McKinnon rushing attempts aren't really real rushing attempts. They're, the flip passes there. What do you guys think about that one?
Matt, I'll let you take that one.
So
it's juiced to the over. So
yeah, what it's
4.5.
That's there's a couple ways that you could cash that thing. Eagles obviously jump ahead, and then we're looking at a more pass happy Kansas City approach. Um, but I do think that they're going to try to run the ball a little bit. I do think the Chiefs, uh, they got to try to keep that pass rush off of Mahomes a little bit too. And
Yeah.
so, Pacheco and Clyde. But yeah, there's three guys in the backfield that may get some burn. So I can kind of see it. It's not something I would say I love, but I don't hate it either. So I would say I'm lukewarm on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I if you especially if you feel like the Eagles can jump out to a lead, and then Chiefs are going to have to play comeback in second half here, then I think less runs from McKinnon, but does he also get on the field more? And do the Eagles kind of put an extra body out there? And Mahomes, he may audible down to a draw or something. It's tough. These really small props like this. I hate planting a flag a lot of the times just because your margin for error. You're either going to look like a genius because he'll have like one, or you're going to he'll be like, well, that was
that's
over.
done.
That was fun. So I don't know, man. I'm rooting for you. I do see how it could work, though, man. I do.
Okay. Thank you.
Looking on DraftKings, it looked like Scott's number's been pulled. I'm trying to check FanDuel. I can look while we're doing this. I guess we'll just start
for his yards or his carries.
Longest carry.
Oh, longest carry.
Yeah.
They've boosted Scott's, and I don't know what kind of liability on it. I think they maxed everybody at $10 or something. But I know DraftKings had a promo where it was his 10 total yards was boosted, I think, to plus 150 or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, so perhaps they're just trying to curb some of that. I don't know. I can't imagine a lot of people are lining up to pound that under, but if they want one-way action on that, then I guess that's why they could pull it. I'm sure you can find it on another book.
Yeah, I'm looking at FanDuel. I don't see it here. It was on DraftKings, but I'm not seeing it here either. I'll keep searching through these books again. That's why it helps to have a million books. Chances are somebody's going to have it, and somebody's going to have a better number than somebody else. So if you're just,
what was the number? 5.5.
Yeah, I saw 6.5, then I saw 5.5, and now I don't see it anymore.
5.5 offshore. I was just checking.
That's still, to me, that's a good bet.
Yeah, I think so too.
To me, that's a good bet. Let's talk. How do you think this game starts? Super Bowls have been typically low scoring. There's a feeling out process. There's a lot of, conservative play calling early. Do you think we stick to that script, or because a lot of those were Belichick and Brady, maybe that factors into it? Do you think it's different now? Andy Reid's script, first 15 is usually really good. Philly's usually really aggressive, but you have to deal with the nerves. What do you think we see here first quarter? Start here, Brad. You can go.
Man, that's I want to take Eagles. I want to take Eagles to start early. Start hot. They're one of the best starting teams. But God, like I want to. I've said this. You've heard me say this a million times. Like I think that the Super Bowl jitters are going to be real, but I don't want to believe they're real as someone who wants to back the Eagles. It's. I have to imagine that they're going to have some kind of jitters, right? So maybe the Chiefs start off early, but that Eagles defense, man, is something else. And I think if the Eagles get the ball first, they score.
How about like the pacing? I mean, in terms of like, hey, I like the over here, but I'm going to wait a drive or two because I think we'll get some empty drives. Yeah. Maybe I'll play no score first 6 minutes. Like I like the over, but I don't know that we get those points right away. Usually I almost automatically bet no score first 6 minutes in the Super Bowl because there's a feeling out process. I don't think I'm betting it this year. I'm curious what you think, Matt.
I think the Eagles try to start fast. Nothing has shown me that they're going to not try to get out to that lead. They throw early and run in the second half. That's their recipe for success. Why they would try to deviate from that would be a bit of a surprise, and especially it's because they're coming in with a quiet confidence, I think, where they think they're the better team, and I think they think as long as they run their script here, that the Chiefs can't keep up with them. So, playing from in front is the recipe for success for them. I don't think they want Hurts having to run around and play from behind in the second half. So urgency will be high. Yeah, I think you want to try to get as many points as fast as you can against Mahomes, and any other playing around, goofing around, like you're just, to me, I think you're asking for trouble. So don't get cute, don't overthink it. There I think Brown and Smith will have a lot of targets in the first half, and then maybe you could jump in live if you want to grab some of these running backs for the Eagles. I think, like you mentioned with the total, if Miles Sanders only has 20 yards or something like that after the first quarter, his line may be trickling down, or halftime, somewhere like that. You could find some really good in play numbers, and it could be vice versa for the Chiefs too. It could be the wide receivers are only held to 1 or 2 catches, and if they're down, a touchdown or 10 points or something like that at halftime, you could find a nice in play line to come in and hit the over on. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot of live wagering, probably more than I've done in the past, just because I think there will be a lot of good opportunities to do so.
Yeah. Are you going to be live betting this game, Brad? We can get into what food we're eating because that's important too. It's a big part of the Super Bowl. But hey, if you want to win money, it's hard. It's hard to do both because a lot of people, hey, you want to eat your wings and drink your beer and have some fun. But there are some great opportunities, I think, during the Super Bowl to make money. What are you guys going to be doing during the game in terms of betting? My one tip here: have multiple books open. Go back and forth because you're going to see some discrepancies here, and be careful. There's longer commercials, so you can only bet during commercials. You don't want to bet in play when you can sort of get free rolled, where if a play happens against you, they keep the bet. If a play happens in your favor, they reject the bet. So make sure you're betting during commercials. Have multiple books open. But Brad, walk us through the process here of how you're live betting this game if you're live betting this game.
Yeah, so outside situational live betting is a little hard to describe, but I will be situational live betting. So if I see first of all, anybody who's watching, make sure for me, this is my strategy. I don't know, it doesn't work for everyone, but make sure you know the numbers of what these guys were pregame, right? And then if a team takes a 14-point lead, 10-point lead, gets late, then I start situational betting. That'll be something like Patrick Mahomes pass attempts or Jalen Hurts pass attempts. I'm not a huge fan of live betting completions because I don't care if they complete it with pass attempts. It just needs to hit home. And then score. I have a number set in my mind of 48, where I think that's a fair total. So if it starts slow, but like empty drives are okay with me. I'll probably live bet over. And then I'm going to be looking for quarter bets. What that means is if a team at the end of the first quarter, if a team is in plus territory, then I'll either take their team total over or I'll take the quarter over. And the same thing goes when they're going from the third quarter to the fourth quarter.
Matt, anything? Let me ask you guys, and I don't know the answer to this. Let's just say, because both teams defer. This isn't one of those situations where one team always defers, one team always takes the ball, and we basically know who's going to get the ball. It's 50-50 probably who's going to get the ball. If we're watching the coin toss and we see Philly wins the toss, will we have time to bet some props off of that first quarter for KC to score first, KC first half? Will there be enough sort of time period where they leave those lines open, you think?
Yes and no. Like the coin toss, we on a normal NFL game, even on the championship games, they're not showing you the coin toss. And Super Bowl, obviously, the coin toss is massively bet on, and there's all this stuff. So, there is a bunch of time in here. The Super Bowl, like you mentioned, like with commercials and other things, halftime. Everything is just stretched out, and so your opportunity for these in-game wagers are a little bit wider. definitely, I like you mentioned, I'm going to have a couple books open, just kind of peeking around. Um, I think the updating will happen pretty quickly, but at the same time, like you said, if we find out, okay, they defer, your first touchdown scores for, like in your example, the Eagles get the ball, you'll see those all tick down,
Yep.
and the Chiefs kind of tick up a little bit for first touchdowns. But I don't think it massively messes with the numbers, like you mentioned, like the first quarter, at first half, things like that.
Team to
It
score
doesn't.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are a little slower to react. For a couple 2 years ago, it might have been the other way around, where first touchdown was a much smaller percentage. Now it's going to be probably, I think it's like one of the most bet things in the whole
Yeah.
game is like a Travis Kelce first touchdown or something.
Yeah.
If I saw
Which
that.
is dumb because Jody Fortson's going to score the first touchdown. So I don't know why people.
Oh yeah, Big Jode. Yeah, that will be.
I saw that one.
And just to be clear, so people know what we're talking about, and I'm clear.
Yeah.
If you see let's just say the Eagles have won the toss. As soon as we see them win the toss, bet things Chiefs first. Chiefs to score first. Chiefs first quarter. Chiefs first half. Bet Chiefs early because the Eagles are going to decline. Both teams decline unless they do something out of character. So if you see, and don't wait for, like, again, timing is important with these things. As quick as you can. Hey, the Eagles win the toss. You bet the other way in terms of the props.
Yep. I think it's a fun way to play it. And like you said, the Chiefs are really good off script. Those first drives or first two drives, whatever it ends up being, that Andy Reid kind of maps out. I think it's a chance that those are going to be high success rate plays. So the chains will be moving.
I think they run it first play, by the way. I think I gave that out, and there's some data that backs it up. I think both teams, I bet run first play minus 125. I just think it's really basically just on their history, the championship games, both these teams, maybe the quarterbacks, neither of them are 100%. I did bet run first play for a small little bet.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it is.
Unless they pass it, then it won't be as fun.
Yeah, you get your money early though, or you lose early.
Yeah, it's I mean, but hey, you got plenty of time to make it back.
Right.
If it misses. So, yeah, I think you're onto something. Definitely keeping an eye on those things, because a lot of people will be high-fiving and saying, "Oh yeah, tails never fails," and stuff like that, and celebrating.
And I'll give you the stats because I haven't written down. I don't know if we get around to posting this. 19 games this year. Chiefs' first offensive play has been a run 14 times. 5 times it's been a pass. Both playoff games in 2 recent Super Bowls started with a run. And then, of course, Mahomes maybe not 100%, and who knows if Hurts is 100%. So there's some data that backs it up. Again, don't go crazy. It's one play, but there is some numbers that back it up. And I think DraftKings had the best price in that one.
Nice.
That's like, well, God, you're a legend, man. That's like,
that, come on.
That is thorough. Wow. I think I'm gonna play that. Hold on. I'm trying to look to see if I'm gonna play this Boston Scott too, by the way. I'm like literally on this show, like talking about having placed many bets. Now I'm gonna have like 50 just tailing Will.
First and goal, Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. Check them out. All right, we talked props. We talked about some of this obscure stuff. Let's get back. We spent a little time on it last week. Let's just get back to, hey, who wins the game? Final score, over, under, side, total. Take it wherever you want to go, Matt, if you want to go first.
I will say that I think the Eagles win, but I'm going to bet the Chiefs because of the spot and the situation of having the best player in an underdog here. I just think that that's something that I'm happy to do. Like I said, I do think the Eagles will win, but I'm going to bet it against what I would say, I guess, my better judgment or my first day, just because you don't get too many opportunities to bet a guy like Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. This is all week. Everybody's talking about legacies and where he stands in the echelon of QBs and things. Like, I just feel like he's in that, getting close to that Brady territory where he's going to get a lot of advantageous calls. I think his coach is a better coach and can scheme and get them into successful situations. I think Jalen Hurts is still hurt. I saw a lot of since he's come back from the shoulder injury, he can't even complete throws outside the numbers. There's a lot of data on that that's really kind of broken stuff down. I don't want to
100%.
get too deep
And it's
into
his
that.
left shoulder too, right? Like, what I'm a little like the numbers completely back you up, and I'm totally
Yeah,
with you.
it's
But it's, I guess, something if you're not feeling well, like, wouldn't it? Isn't it a little strange to you that the left shoulder would affect it that much? Maybe it's not. I don't know.
I think it takes a lot of full body.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a howitzer like an Allen or
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers or somebody where you just flick the wrist and it's out there. I think he requires a good solid base.
screwing
And
up his mechanics is what you're saying, which
right,
I
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
his
That makes
mechanics
sense.
are off, and so Spagnuolo with 2 weeks to figure this out too is not. He is one of the best defensive coordinators out
Good
there.
point.
I think that they will show the Eagles to the inside, or I mean, excuse me, show them to the outside. They'll shade in and dare Hurts to beat them outside the numbers. Obviously, with Smith and AJ Brown, two really good guys that can win one-on-one matchups. But I just, man, again, it's tough. It's so close. That's why I'm happy with where it is. I just think
Right.
give me the best player, and I can lose happily if I have to. If I go to and hey, if they get blown out, the Eagles are up, by 3 or 4 touchdowns, then I'll just say, hey, it is
Which
what it.
I don't see happening. I know
Yeah.
people
No,
like, oh,
I
this
think it's
reminds
gonna
me
be
of
close.
Tampa, KC. KC's offensive line was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that type of game. I don't. I'd be
Yeah.
if it's a blowout, I think KC blows them out, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think we got a good game here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too, and I think there's a lot's been said. The Eagles fans and players and everybody that they're listening to a lot of the chatter out there from the Niners, and just other fan bases that have kind of criticized their path to here. And I think most level-headed and reasonable Eagles backers will realize that, hey, this is their biggest test and it's not even close. Like
Yep.
they had a
So
very,
true.
very, very soft path to get here, and we shall see. I mean, they haven't been able to. They played what Aaron Rodgers and
Rogers put up 30. Yeah, Rogers put
yeah,
up 33. Dak
that's
put
what
up
I'm saying.
40.
And
Goff
the
put up
Chiefs split up
35.
the Niners defense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's there's a lot of things here where it's like we haven't seen a large enough sample size of the Eagles playing elite teams, and the Chiefs have played elite teams all season. I think they played elite. Mahomes played top 10 passing defenses like I think 7 times
Yeah.
this season, and like I mean it's just when you really dive in, there is a huge difference in the resume of these two teams, and so you again, I don't want to buy into all the recency, but when I look at the two rosters, I do think the Eagles are the better roster, and that's why I lean that they can win the game. But yeah, go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
No, you're totally cool, dude. I have gone back and forth on this one a ton, right? Like just so everyone can see, I'm literally wearing a Jalen Hurts jersey. I want the Eagles to win. But I just don't know like if I want to trust a first-time Super Bowl quarterback
and
like
coach, yeah.
And coach. Like it just doesn't happen like that. Like we have been doing this long enough where we see time and time again experience generally wins in big games. And it's not like it's experience with like a quarterback who's gone to multiple Super Bowls and lost and not an MVP caliber quarterback. This is Patrick Mahomes. Like, ask yourself as a bettor or a person who has their real money staked, if you had to trust one of these guys to get the job done, you're 100% saying Patrick Mahomes, right? Like 100%. I think that's what it comes down at the end of the day for me is I just would rather trust Patrick Mahomes. And I think that we are constantly saying and downrating the Chiefs defense. it's not that bad, and they get a ton of pressure on the quarterback. Jalen Hurts hasn't had to really face any adversity with anybody pressuring. This offensive line is brilliant, and they haven't, no one's been able to successfully get up the middle on that offensive line. I think
worry about him in the red zone a little bad in the red zone. And that's one thing that does worry me as somebody who's bet the Chiefs is, and it makes me like the over more is, hey, if it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 from like the Chiefs 15, they're going to do that rugby play, which do you guys think that'll be illegal next year? That doesn't I don't know when that play came about.
Where they just put shirts in the back.
Yeah.
I think it's football, man. Like, I don't think it should be illegal. I think
I thought there was a rule against it. When I played in high school, I remember we got called for like assisting the runner. I always thought that was a flag.
Used to be illegal.
It's not. Yeah, I thought it was.
It used to be illegal, and then they changed it to you can't pull them.
The famous bush push. I think that's the most famous incident of it. But to me, it's there's differences. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think, the football, there are too many rules as it currently is stated. Yeah. I think most people would agree with that.
Definitely. Just feels like a cheap play, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to add the hip drop rule now.
Which give me a break.
Stupid.
Give me a break.
There are certain things, but like, hell, if an offensive lineman can pick a guy up and just carry him 4 or 5 more yards into the end zone, like, I think that's fine. Like, get them on the ground. Like,
the rules. Here's my issue, though. The rules are so slanted towards the offense. We're going to give them one more thing where it's basically unstoppable. I don't know. I guess when it's my team that's doing it, I don't mind it. It just, I guess if I'm neutral, I don't really love the play. I'd be curious what happens with it going forward.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows they're moving towards points. People want points. Like, nobody. I mean, there are diehards that are really into, a 13-10. Like a Steelers Ravens from 10 years ago.
I watched that Ravens 30 for 30. It was really good, man.
That was great.
Cool to see defense played. You know what? I really enjoyed it because it's one of those things. It's not like Brady or Michael Jordan. It's not one of these things that's been beaten to death. The Patriots. It's a run that kind of gets not forgotten, but not that covered. My only issue is they let the Ravens. I don't know if you saw it, Brad. They let the Ravens kind of tell their own story. It wasn't like an outsider's perspective, and it was a little. I don't know. They were pretty much telling their own story, but it was fun to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, it was great. I think, obviously the star coming out of that was Tony Siragusa, who, sadly we lost. What a character. He was hilarious. Like, the Phil Simms story of how you cost me 10 grand or whatever it was. And, I mean, it was great. Like
I think I wanted a neutral opinion. I didn't just want Siragusa saying, "Hey, I didn't do anything wrong." I wanted somebody I wanted a definitive, because I don't even know. Like, that seems like it'd be a penalty in today's rules. It's definitely a penalty.
Sure.
To just land on a guy, and his whole thing was, well, they didn't call it, so it was legal. It's like they could have just missed the call too. I don't know.
Well, I think football what it was and what it is are two different things.
Right.
So like what it was, that's fine. Like, I mean, a guy landing on you, that's football. Like, and I mean, now I hate watching a flag for a late hit. And these athletes like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett or whoever, name an elite pass rusher. Right. They come around the corner and they're 275 pounds, and they got all this speed and explosion, and they have to then hit a guy, but then also like make sure they don't land.
Oh yeah, it's stupid.
It's like so obnoxious.
It is.
It's. I don't know.
We're probably getting off track a little bit.
Yeah,
it's probably my fault. But
I don't want Bill Romanowski at the bottom of the pile sticking his finger in orifices and trying to break his fingers and stuff like that. Like that, that's not football. But like, I think you should be able to hit guys when they go over the middle. I think you should be able to crack block people. I think there's certain things like, they're not necessarily safe, but I think there's certain plays that have been legislated out of the game, which
they've taken football out of football.
Yes, right.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can't actually, there's no fear factor. And I think that was one of the big things that you took away was like when Ray Lewis was doing that interview, that movie, he's like, you paid the price if you came over the field. And Corey Dillon walked off the field because he was tired of it. Like, he's like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I mean, today, like, it doesn't mean as much. Like all of these stats and to go like, all these records that'll get broken year after year after year after year, like, and it's in all sports. NBA is the same way.
Right.
It's just defense is getting legislated out because we want to bet props. We want to see offense in all sports. So.
And it's like it's the opposite with baseball with the pitching, where the pitchers are just so good and it's just hard to hit. But back to the betting here, we took a little detour. That was probably my fault. What I like under punts, specifically Philly under 3.5 punts. You can get that at DraftKings. I just don't think. I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to move the ball pretty well. I like the over. So to me, under 3.5 punts is a good way. You guys have any sort of feel on any of these sort of ancillary props here?
Under punts. That's. Man,
under punch. So Eagles under 3.5. You think that? Well, I mean, yeah, it's you like the over in the game, so that's correlated.
And even if they get behind, and like I like the Chiefs, but even if the Eagles get behind, they're going to be aggressive. You would think.
Yeah, and I think Sirianni would, if any fourth and shorts, he's like you mentioned, they're going to break out the rugby play.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever they can to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. It'll have to be 4th and 5 or longer for them to punt, I would think, and also in a midfield or negative field position type of a situation. So, how many possessions are they going to have? What do we think? 8, 10, something like that? Like what? Say it's 10. So you need 4 punts to lose that bet.
Right.
I like that. I think that's pretty good. What are the odds?
-110. DraftKings.
Wow. Yeah. When you put it that way, I think, I like that.
I'm adding it. Adding it.
I can dig it.
Here's a hypothetical, and we'll get to MVP. We'll get the first touchdown score, any of that stuff. Let's just say Philly gets the ball whenever. Philly's first possession. It's 4th and 1, but they're on their own 29 or 30 or something. Do they go for it or they punt?
Their own 30, you said?
Yeah.
You got to punt. You got to punt.
It's 4th and 1.
In the Super Bowl, I think you punt.
Yeah. I think you have
I wouldn't bet it, but I think he'd go for it. I think he'd do the rugby scrum.
I think with if you give the Chiefs that short of a field,
but you probably get it though. But you probably get it.
You do probably get it, but I think you're better off putting your defense out there and flipping the field than the variance of like if you don't get it. I will just say as a Chief better, if it's 4th and 1 and they punt, I'll gladly take the punt. I don't want you going for it. I want the ball. Yeah, the truth serum of
because I'm not going to stop you if it's 4th and 1.
Right.
I'm not going to stop. Like I know I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
And that is true. I love what it's like if you have the action on the bet, that'll really show you. Or I always said like growing up playing a lot of Madden, like do you want your guy, your opponent to go for it or not? And there's obviously cheese ways to get it in Madden. This rugby play is kind of the real life equivalent of a cheese play.
I never heard that expression, a cheese play. I never heard that one.
Yeah. Oh, you've never heard of being a cheeser on a video game?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I think I am. I think I definitely was a cheeser. I looked for every advantage, but I never heard that expression.
Yeah. Using the cheese, man. Like that's it just means you're kind of playing corny. You're trying to exploit like different things.
That was me for sure.
Throwing it up to Randy Moss.
Run into the guy on second. Run into the secondary guy to drop back 100%.
All you do is throw jump balls to Moss. Like,
or you put your RB1 as the fullback. Oh, I did that. Yeah.
Move guys to tight end. You can't cover. Just manipulate the rules. Absolutely. I never heard that expression though.
Oh yeah. That's well in the competitive video game world. Cheesing it's part of the vernacular because very rarely do it's somehow strange. People never lose video games on merit. It's always the other guy was cheating. So like, the computer was cheating. My opponent was cheating.
So is cheesing frowned upon?
There are, certain competition type of games, like they will legislate certain tactics that may be in game, but are unsporting. Like, because most of the time the organizers of these tournaments, they're partnered with whoever's the developer, EA or whatever. But they're organized by competitive players for the most part, and so it's one of those things, when something's not right, and so they'll kind of legislate certain things out of competition, but for most of the time, if it's in the game, it's in the game. If you're just playing your buddy on the couch, but
For sure.
you know,
James Harden's a cheeser, so that's
He
that's
definitely is. I
yes,
love
yeah.
it.
James Harden is cheesing the the not only he's borderline, double dribbling and carrying on every play with some of those.
well, not just that, the foul drawing, which
But
again,
the foul drawing, right?
yeah, if you're not doing it, you're giving up an advantage. Like it's cheap, but it's also smart at the same time. So I don't know. We keep getting off track.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Hey,
my
it's
fault.
fun though, man.
But listen, it's
It
just
is.
fun. Like these are conversations that I think
Yes.
people are still down to hear.
Where were we? So Matt, you're over or under on this game?
I think, like I said, it's the Super Bowl, man. I'm going to be over. I think
We haven't had one since Philly's last Super Bowl. It's been all
I
under
know,
since.
it's crazy.
I can't sweat an under with a high-powered offense like Philly and Patrick Mahomes on the other side. We've got an indoor game, so kicks should go through. There should be no, funny business with the weather.
Yeah.
So, missing extra points or other weird things like that, I don't think are going to be too big of a factor. And then, you need 51 for this thing to go over. So
Any 50 and a half still out there?
I thought I saw it.
Yeah, I thought I saw one yesterday.
That is a key number, man. 27-24. You want to make sure you win instead of push.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
50 and a halfs available.
Yep.
Okay. What book?
That's where it's at right now on FanDuel is 50 and a half.
Yeah.
So, 27-24, 30-27. That's the kind of game I see. And I'm going to lean Chiefs here. And so Chiefs in the over.
I'm leaning over as well. I just think that at any point, like either of these teams can score if they're down. That's when I really start to think about like unders and overs. Is like, will these teams get stopped? And how many stops you have to make like to stop these teams from going over is insane. And there's a
good track, good weather. You're in a nice
dome is like massive for us. Like we're playing indoors. Like when I saw like this is no knock on other people. Like I don't want people to think I'm like being rude or disrespectful. But when I saw how many people were betting under on Jake Elliott's field goals, I was like, you're in the dome. This man just has to make two. Like I think
that's more of a cap of Philly's going to be aggressive and they're going to punch it in when they get close. So I like Elliott under points just because I don't know, like the same thing with the punch, where I think if Philly gets close, they're going to go for it a lot.
That makes sense.
I think that's
I like the over though.
Over points or field goals or both?
Points. Oh, I like over field goals too. I like over field goals for Jake Elliott a lot. It's plus money. Like I'm a guy who says like situations like this, like when you're playing the Chiefs, like it goes one of two ways. And you guys know I love the field goal props. It goes one of two ways. You either think you're going to need to score touchdowns against them, or you're going to want to get points anytime you can. And I think that it's the latter.
What do you guys want to do? You want to do MVP? We did it a little last week. Maybe we have some new listeners. To me, it's Chiefs. If it's Chiefs, it's obviously Mahomes. The only interesting conversation it can be had on the Eagles side. Do you guys agree with that, first of all? And where would you go if you're looking for like a deep sleeper here for Philly?
I'll jump in real quick and give you the counterpoint to what you were saying. So I do agree that I think Mahomes is going to win just because of like the narrative and everything else. But I'm seeing a lot of people betting Travis Kelce 2 touchdowns or trying to do other things like that. If Travis Kelce has 10 catches and 2 touchdowns, he's going to win the MVP. So
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I do.
Those will be. Can we? You want to bet?
You guys bet each other.
Right, we can side bet it. So, well, what I'm saying is, so if you want to bet touchdown scores, okay, so 2 touchdowns,
all right,
for Travis Kelce, for example. Let's pull up this market here, and then I want to compare it to the MVP as well. Gosh, why did the menu's so big? They're making it difficult to navigate.
While you look, I would just say if you really like Kelsey, just bet his over props. Bet, like you said, bet him to score 2 touchdowns because, like, Damian Williams scored 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl win for the Chiefs a few years ago, and Mahomes still got it. Like,
yeah, but that's Damian
Mahomes.
Williams, and this is Travis Kelsey.
But it's
like,
still Mahomes. Mahomes
if it means anything, Travis Kelsey has gone from plus 116 to an MVP to plus 1400. So
yeah, that's where I think my point I was going to make. So Kelsey's 14-1 to win the MVP, but his 2 touchdowns, and again, like, I don't know why they're making this so difficult to navigate to it. I think it's around 5-1.
They made the FanDuel page really hard to use.
It's extremely cumbersome right now.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. All right, Travis Kelsey's plus 460 for 2 touchdowns. But so you get a massive discrepancy here between his MVP and 2 touchdowns. To me, I would rather have Kelsey MVP at 14 or 15-1 than 2 touchdown at plus 460. Like, I think there's going to be an appetite to give it to him if he has a monster game like that. Like, and
can we work out a bet?
We could probably figure something out. And I mean, Mahomes, he's a favorite to throw an interception in this game too. He's not going to have the scrambling and rushing like for spectacular, first downs and things like that. I think he's going to be. He'll still have it if he absolutely needs it, but we're going to see a traditional from the pocket, maybe a little bit of bootleg kind of stuff. And so I don't think we get the dynamic dual threat Patrick Mahomes like we've had in past years.
I think that's probably your best case or point is that Mahomes isn't 100%, and who knows, maybe he gets knocked out of the game again. It's a reach, and then obviously he's not going to win if he's not in the game. So then maybe Kelsey could steal it. But to me, and I feel very strongly about this, you could tell if they win, and even if Kelsey catches him, Mahomes is throwing him. I just think there's such a bias towards Mahomes, and I'd be shocked. Really shocked. Now, again, if you want to take plus 120 or whatever on Mahomes when you can just take plus 110 on the Chiefs money line, you don't want that. Even if it's a 2% chance to turn a loss into a win, you don't want to do that. But I'd be not surprised. I'd be shocked if Mahomes doesn't win the MVP with the Chiefs win.
Yeah, same.
How about on Philly side?
I think there is some chance that Kelsey could get it if he has the type of game where we're looking at 10 catches, 2 touchdowns type of thing. I think they're going to need him. They're going to need him a lot. And, if 7 of those catches are for first downs on third downs and stuff like that, I think there's going to be a lot of the Kelsey talk. We're going to get it, because it's the brothers going at it. And I think we'll see a lot of narrative stuff here, which could swing it. But
so give me the stat line you think that gets it to him, and we'll try to work out a bet here.
All right. So if he gets 2 touchdowns and let's say he gets 10 catches. I think that's an MVP worthy performance.
I will lay 2-1 that he doesn't with that stat line. So if he doesn't have that stat line, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. If that's
10 catches, 2 touchdowns.
If that is his stat line, then we have a bet. Let's just do make friendly 100. I win 50, you win 100.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Virtual shake on it.
Virtual handshake.
Heard it here first and goal.
We don't even need to. Yeah, we don't even need to.
Yeah, you don't need
to. It's recorded.
Right, it's recorded.
It's recorded. How about for the Philly side? I got one. Somebody mentioned this. I forget who it was, and it's not a bad point. All this talk about Reddick winning, and who knows, he could. A deep sleeper. I think you get him 200-1 is Sweat because Sweat's had a pick 6. Sweat's had big plays. If you're looking for, say, I'm just going to throw $5-10 and enjoy the game, that kind of bet. Sweat, I don't know. At 200-1, that's look at anything at 200-1 is almost worth the bet. I don't know if you guys what do you think about that or any other sleepers here for the Eagles side.
Listen, I don't know. That just I don't know. I just feel like Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP, and I feel crazy for saying that.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as sold on Philly. Like I just said, Mahomes, if Chiefs win, I'm 100%, 99% confident Mahomes is going to get it. With the Eagles, I'd say 70% confident. It's Hurts. There's just so many good players on the team, and Hurts isn't the star Mahomes is. They're not as dependent on Hurts. I could see a bunch of different guys winning on Philly. I'm curious what you think, Matt.
Yes, I could kind of see something like that. Especially if somebody picks off Mahomes and like runs it back for a touchdown or something. Like you could get one. I don't see the running backs. Like I've seen the arguments for Miles Sanders and Gainwell, and
I think Terrell Davis is the last MVP to win it at running back.
And you mentioned, I mean, we had Williams have score 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like and not get it. So I feel like taking one of the running backs when your quarterback is probably the biggest goal line threat on the team. That is not something I really want to be a part of. I think Hurts has a better chance to win it if the Eagles win than Mahomes. Like I know that might sound crazy, but I think like you said, Hurts is going to have to be so effective. He's going to have to use his legs. They're going to force him to throw at some point. And I don't see such a Herculean effort out of any of these guys. Like even if you mentioned one of these defenders gets, 2 sacks and a forced fumble or something like that, like it's just not, I don't think it's going to be enough. I really don't. So I think the quarterback, like to win the MVP bet, like I know you got to lay like 4-1 to win it.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not going to mess with it either, but I think it's probably sound. But yeah, no, I think my favorite bet on the board is just Travis Kelce at 14-1.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised by that.
Someone's gonna be making money. Someone's gonna be making money today.
What do you mean?
If he hits that stat line, someone's going to be making money between you guys.
Oh, yeah. What do we need? 10 catches, 2 touchdowns? I mean, the fact that he gets
10 catches, 2 touchdowns. It's a very high floor.
I can probably just bet some of those props and get a free roll out of it where it's like, I guess if I lose that, I'll
I can't.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is like, you could free roll because
Right.
you've got the under. I can't.
Right.
But I need to hit that floor to even have action. So
Right.
Yeah.
I basically have a free roll here. On him getting, two touchdowns. I wanted to bet it, but now I've got it no matter what. So yeah, who knows, man? It's fascinating, but I do think, like you said, the quarterbacks are going to dominate things. I think Hurts, being the second favorite on the board to score a touchdown, that tells you a lot of what you need to know too.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough one for sure.
Like 2 years, was it 2 years ago when it was Brady Mahomes? I was okay with like laying minus 500 that would be a quarterback because it's Mahomes, it's Brady, it's like the 2 most popular guys. Hurts, like I said, there's just so many mouths to feed. I could see him gashing him on the run. I could see him making a play defensively.
And that team's just so stacked everywhere.
The team is stacked. Absolutely, it's a good
with
way
big names too. Like it's not
Right.
like just random guys. These are big name guys.
Right. Like if Devontae Smith had 6 catches, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, like I can see Smith getting it. And we've seen past catchers win it recently. Cup won it, and then Edelman won it.
Yep.
A few years ago. So it's not impossible a pass catcher gets it. Let's wrap up here. First touchdown. Anything you guys are betting? Anything you guys like? Any deep sleeper here?
First touchdown. I like Scantling to score the first touchdown. I'm on him to score. So generally when I like a guy who's +2, I don't know if the odds have changed, so maybe I should look.
I'm looking 22-1 here on DraftKings.
Yeah, when I like a guy, he's like +240 to score a touchdown. I'm gonna put a little bit on him to score first touchdown. Depleted secondary or banged up secondary. He caught a touchdown last game. I think that he's a good option in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah, first touchdown for me. I think Pacheco 10-1 is nice value. I think he could. He's proved that he could be on the field. Late in the season, McKinnon had that crazy stretch where he had a receiving touchdown in like 6 straight games, and there were some first touchdowns sprinkled in there too. But I think Pacheco brings that extra element of, hey, I could run. This could be a running play, and so I think he'll be out there. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to be rushing the ball today. I hate to, a lot of people are on Mahomes' first rushing TD first TD because it's like 22-1 or something. We haven't seen Mahomes have those kind of odds all season.
Yeah.
So now, you've got him banged up. I don't think Andy Reid's going to put him in harm's way if he can prevent it. So, give it to the Rook. Let him run hard or let him get a screen pass type of thing. I understand why people want to play Travis Kelce because it's Travis Kelce.
I'm on Kelsey to score a touchdown. Like, it's not crazy.
Yeah, I think he can. He's obviously always viable. If I'm the Eagles, I want anybody but Travis Kelce to beat me. I'm doubling him the whole game, but who knows if they'll do that or not. So, yeah, I like Pacheco. If I'm going to take an Eagle, I'm going to go towards man. Yeah, I guess that's. I was looking at the potentially one of the running backs, but none of the values really get me too excited. So I do think Hertz will call his own number here in the Super Bowl. It does feel like he's that kind of personality, and
I'm more. I just think high leverage spots, he'll push
yeah,
it. I don't.
yeah,
I do think his rushing prop's a little low too. 19 and a half, 20 and a half. Like he's not going to do it every play, and who knows if he's healthy, he runs a lot.
Yeah.
So not a lot, but enough. So and you miss some of the better numbers here, but to me, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 3rd and goal from the 4 and there's nobody open and he just scrambles in and doesn't have to get hit. I wouldn't be shocked.
Ooh,
I just like a little more bang for my buck there, 22 to
sure,
1 or so.
yeah.
What do you got, Matt? Anything for Philly?
Phil, I think Devontae Smith, 11 to 1 makes some sense. He's. I like his ability. I think that AJ Brown will be the guy they're a little bit more worried about. I think Ward will guard AJ Brown. I could be mistaken there, but I think Smith may have the better matchup, so he'll get one of the younger Chiefs DBs on him. I don't think you can afford to put one of the young guys on AJ Brown. So Smith, I think, might have the better matchup. Goddard 11 to 1 at the same price. Like he seems like he's got good value. He's not coming off the field on rushing plays either. So I like getting that a few extra bucks there, but I still think it's Hurts. I think Hurts is going to call his own number if they're down there, and you just have to look at their touchdowns once they get down into that area. They're 80% rushing touchdowns versus 20% passing touchdowns. So if you're playing the odds, you want to go Hurts here.
Okay. Wow.
I think we've exhausted this game, have we not?
Yeah, now it's time. Wait, can we please just we have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you guys eating for the Super Bowl?
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask 2 more things. What does Rihanna sing first, and what are we eating for the Super Bowl? I don't know where you guys want to start. To me, I'm a wings guy. I'll keep it simple. I'm going to go wings. I don't know. Are you guys going to drink during the game? I'm probably not. I'm going to be live betting. So I don't like to drink and bet. Not saying I won't, but I want to be sharp. To me, this is sort of a work/fun. I know it's hard to draw that line, but
yeah,
I'll be eating. I'm not sure if I'm going to drink here. So what are you guys doing?
I'll be drinking, and then I'm pretty good about once I get drunk, I put my phone away and don't bet. It's like because I've been burned.
How to do that?
Well, okay, so I'm 30-second story. I was betting esports. I'll never forget this. It was Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto in the finals, and I like FaZe. I'm a fan, and so I wanted to bet them. They go down and become a -110 favorite to win it all, and I tried to put 2,500 on them to win. And been drinking. I ended up putting 5,000 on them because I hit it twice, and they lost. And so I was like, okay, no more drinking and betting. When you lose $5,000 on accident, it'll make you never do it again.
I'm just gonna keep it in pocket with like some Miller Lights. Lower ABV. If
so you're not going to drink beer.
Well,
Yeah, he's drinking water. He's
it's
hydrated.
hey, you know, I love a good you know, porter or a stout or IPA when the time is right, but that'll weigh you down. You'll be feeling a nap at halftime instead of anything else. You know, so yeah, those 7-8% beers, like they got their time and place. Don't get me wrong. Those are when you're hosting, you know, relatives during the holidays.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta lay this thing down. These stouts are catching up to me, but yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it cool with like a nice 4.1 American lager. Um, you know, the macro brew, if you will. Um, and yeah, food wise, I think we're gonna do pretty traditional. You know, pizza, wings, have some chips and pretzels and those kind of things out.
You're gonna have people over. Or you're just gonna keep it.
Yeah, we've got a couple people coming over. We're not doing
Nobody's
anything
fucking
crazy,
coming over my
but
house. I'm watching the game. Nobody come over unless you guys are listening. Any listeners in the area you want to come over, you can come over. But
come
I
on
got
over. Yeah, the one of my wife's her best friend just had her first baby last month, and so
you got a baby coming over.
Baby's coming over.
Oh
yep,
man!
yep,
come on.
We've got. Yep, we're gonna have over under
take
diaper
control,
changes.
man.
Over under diaper changes is set at 2.5. If anybody wants a side, you know, an exotic prop there.
That's a novelty of novelty
bets, right?
I'm gonna bet yes that you need to find a different location to watch this game, and you need to relocate. This is fun.
I like the comforts of home. When I was young and single, I'd love to get out and be amongst them. You know, but now it's just I don't need that kind of negative encouragement. Like you talk about alcohol influence, like you're going to drink more if you're out with the guys than you are at home. And then you know you're always looking to parlay that action into some other crazy action. Like it's never just all right. Super Bowl's over. What are we doing now? Like now, so we'll tuck that away. I'll leave that to the younger guys.
Sounds like there's some story there. There's more meat on the bone, but
oh my gosh, yeah, we could go on for days. I'm sure Brad's got some doozies as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Best thing for me was settling down. I think you know it could have been a different kind of story out there, but you know I'm with you though, man. Like if you're betting emotionally, chasing losses, things like that, like it is tough. So what I would advise to people that maybe bet this their first Super Bowl is whatever your bankroll is for the day, like definitely set that out.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm going to bet. You know, say if your bankroll is $1,000, you know, just say like, hey, I'm not going to lose more than 200 today. You know, that's my cap. You know, it's okay because it's a Super Bowl to go a little bit more. I would say most days don't bet more than 10% of your bankroll.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. That's a busy day. You know, that's a Sunday. That's all day NFL with NBA
and soccer in the morning.
Right. And that's if you've hit some bets in the morning to get to the night. So
right.
I've seen people because this is the thing too. I think we're going to put out a lot of plays. People will want to tail everything. They're going to see every 20 to 1, 50 to 1, 100 to 1 parlays that are going to be out there.
Yeah.
And the FOMO of like, I don't want to miss out on that monster ticket on Super Bowl. You're going to get yourself overextended chasing all these things. And then, you know, somebody gets hurt, something bad happens. You know, obviously we're knocking on wood here that everybody's healthy and finishes the game, but something, you know, we are dealing with two quarterbacks that are banged up. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the one big caveat. Something happens and you've loaded up, you know, 25 units on Jalen Hurts props and something happens to him. Your whole day is ruined. You can't enjoy the game anymore. Like, and now you're going to try to figure out how am I going to chase these losses. So I've been there. I've been like Brad, where, you know, his cautionary tale is a good one where, I think, budget yourself. Say, hey, I'll bet half of my bankroll pre-flop, save the other half for in-game. And then that way you can have some fun. And then you never know. Maybe something crazy happens where you can jump in there and take advantage of a bad number. But
give yourself that flexibility. Because I know a lot of people will, believe me, we all know people like that. They're emptying their entire account will be bet on the Super Bowl today, one way or another. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have 75 bets in, and I just don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Exactly. And some of these bets are correlated with the game, like the game action, game flow. Like, it's funny. I have how many bets? I have 7 bets in right now. And I think that's like, I'm not never normally like that. But like, how many units do I have? 6 units deployed in 7 bets. So it's not like I'm overextending and I have 1-2 unit play. Like, it's okay, guys, to like bet like a ton of bets, but please, this is like where you use caution to like, I have a bet that is 0.15 units because I want to have action on it because it's fun. Doesn't mean I put a unit on something that literally is stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Couple novelty props, like I'll leave you with that. Like I mentioned these last time. I've played any QB to have a receiving touchdown. I have any non-QB to have a passing touchdown. Obviously, those are 2 correlated things. But like in Joe Mixon's case, he could throw a touchdown pass to anybody. It doesn't have to be necessarily Joe Burrow. So those kind of things, I do think Andy Reid, man, he's the master of saving some plays for the big game. He's going to have something cool dialed up for sure. And I think there are some value today in kind of playing some of these novelty markets because the coaches are creative and their personnel lends them to doing something cool like that. So, sprinkle on these. The limits are probably intact. I know for me, I wasn't able to get a ton down on a lot of this stuff, but I'd rather have 4 or 5 of those bets in than try to sweat like a minus 110, like for a full unit or 2 units or whatever. Like, I think it's just more fun to go about it this way. So, Yep.
All right, boys. Well, this was fun. Thanks to everyone for listening all season. This was fun. I don't know what we'll be doing going forward. We'll try to fill this time slot with something. Maybe, I don't know. We'll keep you posted, whatever we do, but appreciate the support all season. Good luck with all your plays. Matt, Brad, this was fun, man. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the game.
Yes.
And we'll see you when we see you.
See ya.